Today we're outside the Bull Hotel in Stony Stratford, and we're going to talk about the Great Fire of Stony Stratford, which took place in 1742. Next to us, it's getting quite busy because it's early in the morning, is St Mary and St Giles Church. Beautiful church where I got married. Anyway, to the Bull Hotel and the Great Fire of Stony Stratford in 1742. The fire started when a maid working in there at the time scored some sheets, and hearing her mistress coming, decided to hide them up a chimney so that she wouldn't get a telling off. Obviously, when they were up there, they caught fire and they burned down the hotel and a lot of other buildings within the town. Okay, so now we're outside the Cock Hotel in Stony Stratford, where coincidentally I had my wedding reception. It's a lovely old hotel, just next door to the Bull. Now, the reason these two hotels are significant is Stony Stratford is on the A5, Watling Street, and in the 16th and 17th century, coaching was big business. So mail coaches, passenger coaches would come screaming down the A5, and they'd use the inns here for people to stay, but also for changes of horses. Now, you may have heard the expression, a cock and bull story. Well, that's basically because people used to sit in these two hotels, drinking. The stories would get more and more unbelievable, and that led to the expression, cock and bull story, an unbelievable tall tale. So we're walking up the high street now, and sorry, you can hear my bike clicking in the background as I wheel it. And we're going to go and find the Magdalen Tower, and we'll tell you a little bit about that when we get there. Okay, you can see the tower there in the background. That's the Magdalen Tower, which is the remains of St Mary Magdalene Church, which was consumed along with a lot of other buildings in the Great Fire of Stony Stratford of 1742. So it's just off the back of the high street. A lot of people don't know it's there. So let's wander over and go and take a look. Here we are. Now this is the Magdalen Tower, which was consumed, or the church was consumed, including the tower, in the Great Fire of 1742. Now it was refurbished by a chap called Brown Willis. I believe the intention was to restore the whole church. But as with most things, money became a problem. So now the tower has been restored, but it's bricked up. But you can still get access to it. For people to come in to look at it. And it's a beautiful old building. And a lot of old stones in the yard. I'll put a link into the website of the people that maintain this and look after it. But there's also on there a list of a lot of the gravestones that are in the churchyard and the people. So a lot of luminaries of Stony Stratford history were buried in this graveyard. Now to talk about the Great Fire of Stony Stratford is 1742. 146 houses were burnt down, and this church. Stony Stratford was unusual at the time. It was the only town in Buckinghamshire that had two parish churches. So you had this one, St Magdalene's, and St Mary and St Giles, which we looked at before, which was just St Giles at that time over the road. The interesting thing about the two churches is during the English Civil War, in the 1640s, St Mary's Church on the east side, which is this one, was a non-conformist church, and it was Cromwellian. St Giles on the other side of the town, the west side, was royalist, established. Another interesting thing about this graveyard is nowadays what goes on gravestones is regulated. So somebody looks at it and you can only put certain things on it. But there's one in this graveyard which reportedly says, "Here lies a body who did no good, and if it had lived, it never would. Where it has gone and how it fares, nobody knows and nobody cares."